Live, then it must be. It's Tuesday morning. We're about to kick it off. Good morning, anyone who is live on the Facebook and the internet at this time. It is the Beatbox Collective. My name is Basics.
My name is Hobbit.
And I am MC Zany.
Good to be back on Young Voices. We tried this a week or two ago, but the internet almost beat us. But hopefully you've got three of us online, live and direct. We're just making sure all the levels are checked. We're welcoming all of you, the friendly few, live to our online venue. Just imagine it's the O2 Arena all over again, or Sheffield Arena, or Manchester Arena, or Birmingham Genting Arena. And shout out to everyone who did Young Voices this year, and anyone who has seen us before. Anyone who has actually seen, some of you might know what we're about to do, but we are going to teach you some very silly, weird, wild, and wonderful sounds that you didn't think you'd do this week. And this is open for everyone, so it doesn't matter what age, what ability. We want you all to get involved, okay? So if mum or dad's around, make sure they're sitting down with you, because we want to make sure that we get you and all the family interacting and possibly beatbox battling later together. Woo. That's right. You'll be doing crazy faces like Hobbit there and stuff. That's right. The double hand thing. You know, we've all practiced our coughing methods as well. You know, it's advanced from the dab. But if you're online right now, of course, it'd be great if you can just share. We're about to go live fully at 11 a.m. But if you can share the link, hopefully you can get some of your friends, some of your family, and get more of the world beatboxing. Which is obviously a fun thing to do while you don't have too much to go in and outside. Yeah.
And tell us where you're watching from, what town, what city. Tell us how many of you are watching, and make it all fun for the family, make it all friendly, and do your warm-ups, because we are going to get physical and we are going to start doing stuff and interacting with all of you lovely people.
Yes.
Who have we got in the chat? Good morning to Izzy Riley. Good morning to Tom Billington. Hello, mate.
Yes.
Good
oh,
morning
wow.
to
We're
Nikki
starting with a good bang with
Stables.
Tom.
Good morning to Joanna Robbins. Oh, there's some people locked in already. That's super exciting.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, just sit tight. Tell your friends, tell your family. Shout upstairs if your kids are still chilling in bed. Come get them involved, because this is going to be a fun little workshop. We're going to kick off in about a minute or so.
You've got 1 minute to get that kettle on.
Oh my gosh.
Kettle should already be on. Shout out to my cousin Alan. He's watching with the family.
Yes,
Hi,
Alan.
Oh, right.
Here we
Wait,
go.
how do I find where the comments are? On the Facebook?
On the Facebook page, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Amy Crow with Grace, age 9, and Imogen, age 6 in Nuneaton. Debbie Cooper, hello, watching from Birmingham. Excellent.
Good accent there.
Shout out to all the Brummies, eh?
Yeah, shout out to Alan.
Rupert's old stomping ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in.
Shout out to Boogie Dave, shout out to Tom, shout out to all the crew up there.
I'm very happy that that we're all working this time. Very kindly, and like a true professional, Rupert, aka the Base 6, took over the stream last time and did an amazing workshop by himself. But today you have the full crew of me, Hobbit, and MC Zany inside for the ride, as well as Base 6, and we'll be doing a group workshop, trying not to talk over each other or beatbox over each other, but it normally happens in a show anyway, so we're used to that. We're just a bit more laggy, which may mean we're more in time.
Thanks for all the Young Voices team for having us as well. Thanks to Claire Edwards for sorting us out with all the technological requirements. Shouts out to Ben Lewis and all the Lewises, all the Young Voices crew, and I think it's 11 a.m. and Basics.
It's 11 a.m. Cool. I can
11
see
a.m., which means
now. I can see. And I'm just make sure the screens are aligned. My chakras are aligned, but my screens aren't aligned right now. Let me just do this so that I can see some of the comments as well. There we go. I've made a smaller screen. I hope you're all adjusting your TV sets at home. Don't touch that dial. And oh no, that's the wrong screen again. I'm doing really well. I'm not doing it left-handed, I promise you.
Good.
Here we go.
Shout out to William and Edward. I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, keep going with the shouts.
Just keep going. Oh, wait. How do I... There must be a way to see live comments. I'm just going to keep updating them.
Okay.
Rachel Seamer, Debbie Cooper, Debbie Green, 2 Debbies in a row.
Diane Tracy. Shout out to the Young Voices. Yes, Young Voices is the highlight. We haven't been for... Actually, Hobbit did it perform with the Magnets 2 years ago. So, Hobbs, you did 3 years in a row?
I was very, very fortunate to see 3 years in a row of the amazing event. Yeah, 2 years with with the Beatbox Collective, and then the final year with the Magnets a cappella group. Yeah, a lot of love for the Young Voices crew. It's an amazing event. We had the pleasure of being there and teaching a lot of children how to beatbox, as well as their parents, and doing the biggest beatbox battle in the world.
Who won, by the way? Who won that?
Everyone.
No, the kids. The
The kids won.
Hey, both answers were good. Both answers were good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, parents, you will have the challenge. If you are involved, make some noise on the chat room if you are sitting with a family, if you've got a few of you in the room. And also make some noise if it's just you on your ones. Okay? Send in what number of people you've got in the room, so then we've got a good idea of what exercises we can do. Not that we haven't already planned this. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about time. Make some noise if you're ready to make some weird, wild, and wacky sounds for the week. Because we're going to have a tremendous Tuesday and show you something slightly different. What is beatboxing? Is our first question. Every answer is a good answer. Okay? It could be the capital of Scotland. It's not. Every answer is still a good answer. What is beatboxing? Beatboxing is your mind and your voice. So it's unlimited. You can make any sound, whether it's natural, like a, or digital, like a, you can recreate it with the human anatomy, all for free, no electricity, and no evil. But we fully believe every sound is a good sound, okay? On the count of 3 at home, I want you to do your silliest sounds. Just as a little warm-up. Here we go. Take a breath. Ready? Your sound can be really loud. It can be really serious, or it can be fantastically silly. Don't know why that has to be Scottish. But on the count of 3, do your silliest sound. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Right. Well, I'm vocally warmed up. But what we mean by this, every sound is a good sound, okay? Now, depending how you want to use that sound, you can create music, you can create comedy, you can create theatre, but if you put it in a mathematical formula, it equals music. So, what I'm going to show you is very simple. It is just the teeth, okay? And simply using the teeth, I can go. Your dentist doesn't advise it, and neither does your mum, but what I'm going to show you now is the fastest teeth in the world. Here we go.
Woo.
There you go.
I think
The
I need to
fastest
see a
teeth in
dentist.
the world. So, hopefully that's just about sound checked on your screens. That's just the teeth. Now, if you add the teeth, the tongue, and the mouth, you can go. And we call that the click roll in the beatboxing world. But with the teeth, the tongue, the mouth, the nose, and the throat, altogether, it sounds a little bit like this. And put it into breaks in the mix. Fresh. So, hopefully we understand a bit of what beatboxing is about. It's a bit of music, it's a bit of breaks, but it's any influence you ever had. Okay? So if it was rock and roll, a bit of house music, it's a sunny enough day, so I tell you what, I'll sing a song. It's a two-way thing. Any energy you bring, dance along, sing along, do what you do. Here's some tunes. just watch beep until I bet the vibe. Spread his back spun. Puts the beast, 10 bits, the butts, the beast, put 10 belts, I bets the vibe. Spread his back spun. Spread his back spun. Put your hands up if you're ready to learn how to beatbox, young voices. Okay. Oh, I did say it's all about using the human anatomy, even if it looks incredibly silly. Ow. Oh, and of course, this one, if you've got a singing voice and you recognize the song, it's a two-way thing. It would be the energy you bring. I see skies are blue, red roses too, Pepsi and too, Puppy and you. But I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause at home, because if you're getting involved, you've just got 25 points. Bing!
Make some noise for basics. Put your ones up in the comment section if you thought that was very, very good. And also, if you are watching in the live stream, please make sure you are sharing it, because we want as many, many young people to watch this as possible, because we know we all want them to have some things to do. And yeah, that was amazing, Rupert. Lovely techniques, lovely sounds there.
Thank you very much. Hey, over to you, Zany. Show them the rest.
Okay. Myself, the MC, Zany, representing the Beatbox Collective for the young voices. 1, 2, 3, 4, for hit it. It is the blue skies, as you can see behind me. I'm chilling in the beach. Who's ready for the morning rave? Drop, bass, pop. Break it like this now. If I wrote you up a symphony. MC Zany signing out like this.
Wow. See,
Little more
lockdown's got you a
rave.
few grooves in there. A few new grooves. I love that. Love that.
Just warming up
Make
for the
some
people.
noise for MC Zany in the chat room. Put your
Max
ones
Zany.
up. Just type one in the bars. Amazing. Such a good range as well. Like, so hopefully
much.
you've now seen 2 of us do what we do. There's one more because we've got 3 of the Beatbox Collective. And if you do want to see more of what we do, we are on the website at thebeatboxcollective.com. You can find out all the information, plus more information and workshops. But ladies and gentlemen, can anyone do a virtual drum roll in the comments, please? Virtual drum roll, virtual drum roll. Bum, 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 bum. 1. Yes, Mark. 1. And over 2, ladies and gentlemen, introducing all the way from Gloucestershire, The Hobbit.
Bonjour, salut, good morning. Hello, yeah, what's going on? Shout out to MC Zany, shout out to the Basics, setting it up for the day. I'm gonna do a little thing now, and then we get on to teaching you beautiful people in the chat. Hello to everyone inside. Yeah, all right, let's keep it moving. Break it down like. Tuesday rave. There's no rain. Seriously, it's beautiful. One more time. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet the dreams I'm Sweet the dream.
All the ones today. Holy moly!
Hobbit, bring in that fire, bring in that heat.
Make some noise if you saw all three routines, and make some noise for Hobbit one more time. All the ones in the chat, remember, 1 equals love. One love.
That definitely
Love
woke me
to
up.
see all the ones there. Shout out to everyone locked in. We've got some comments and views today. This is amazing. Right, well, glad all the technology's working. Here we go. Bit of H2O, bit of oxygen, and I think we're good to go.
Woo woo.
Glorious. So, hopefully, you have just seen a complete range of beatboxing. Hopefully, a different range, every different style of music, different sounds. And these different sounds come through our different upbringings, our different influences. And when we say every sound is a good sound, you don't always have to have the best sound straight away. But just for starters, just to show you the very basics, because people think that beatboxing is just drums. They think it's just simply drums. Remember, it's absolutely any sound you want. You can be any instrument, okay? And remember, you are your instrument. So you own your instrument. So you can make it sound however you like. But just to show you some very simple drums, okay? We'll start very nice and easy. The kick drum is just a simple, but you could use a throat and go, okay? So you have different alternatives. It's like the snare. If I showed you one snare, I would go. If Zany showed you a snare, it would be a. If Hobbit showed you a snare, it would be. I could show you another snare, which would be a. Zany. Hobbit. Another snare. Zany. Hobbit. And all work, okay? All are good answers and acceptable beatbox sounds, okay? So there are all these different drum sounds, but obviously there's bass lines that go with it, and that's the next step. Now we're going to show you a range of how we do bass lines. And remember, there are different types of doing it. Even humming works, okay? Even if you want to go... It all works, okay? You can put that...
That was a very cheerful song.
It was. Thank you very much. Peter and the Wolf. Ha! Anyway, so a bass line is when your lips resonate, when they vibrate, whether really fast or really slow. Okay, so with a slower resonation on your lips, you can get a deeper sound. So it's a
Wow.
medium.
Like a tugboat.
Medium would be a, and then if it was at the highest resonance, it would be a, which Hobbit does a perfect example of. Even using that, so even if you demonstrate using the, you do get an extra resonance, right?
You do, yeah. So yeah, like Basic said, the tighter your lips, the higher the pitch the sound. So loose again, tight. But if you use your hand and create a little hole like this, you get this sort of sound. Lots of fun.
If you did the satisfaction bass line, could you do the satisfaction bass line?
Yeah. So this is a well-known song which some of you might know, and that's using the very tight lips to create the high-pitched sound, which sounds like this. And then Rue can do the lower one underneath it, which he uses a different part of his lips and a hum.
So rather than using the front of my mouth, okay, I use the right-hand side for myself, okay? And for some reason, it just feels more, it's always felt more comfortable there. It's the same concept, yet I've got it on the side of my mouth and I'm going... But that whole... If I try that, just to show you that you don't just suddenly go and become a world champion overnight, it takes a bit of time. But the whole idea is, if I try that on the left-hand side of my mouth, listen now. I can hardly do it because I've never really practiced that sound on that side of the mouth. So just to show you, it's like when you go to the gym, you do muscles, and you build up your muscles and you build up your muscles, and then you build up your strength and you build up your strength. And so everything starts small and you practice and practice and practice. You might even get tickly lips going. But anyway, that's for you to try out, okay? But that's one bass line. Zany.
So going from those two bass lines, you can see that is very lip orientated. So it's to do with how you're pitching your lips and how you're tightening your lips. My type of bass line, which I do a lot, I do two types. I do the humming bass line, which is more of a and if you put it with a throat kick, which is a you get the so that mainly works for people with lower pitched voices. But another bass I do is a throat bass, or a growl bass, which is like this: wow, whoa, ah, oh, ah, and you can hear the formants and the resonance changes with the shape of your mouth. So if I was to shape my mouth and say the word wow, I can go wow. But if it was ah, e, or ah, you can basically speak in that voice. It takes a lot of practice and it may be painful at the beginning, so I advise you not to strain it too hard. But it's almost like when you're coughing, when you go, you're using that part of your throat and that part of your vocal cords. So don't strain too hard. But to practice that bass line with a beat, it's very good because you can always put a beat sound before it. So for example, you can put like a bass, a kick drum before it, bow, or you can put a snare, bow, 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 and that is the growl bass or throat bass.
That was a sick beat.
So, and even when we were saying, so in the developments, so the beautiful thing, I mean, a sound like that throat bass even originated from somewhere like the didgeridoo. But going to the way we have heard these sounds and then managed to put them in music. Okay, so that's one note, that one, and then exactly how Zany says, just chop it up, go, It's the same chord, just break it up with a kick, with a snare, with some instruments. But again, the development of beatboxing, we don't just settle for one sound. We don't go, oh, we've done a, okay? It doesn't just stop at a PFFFFFFFFFFFFFFT. That bass line, if you put a high sound underneath it, you can make a more mechanical sound, like a, okay? And again, that's at the front of the mouth with a, but if I did it at the side, I get a bit more mechanical. So you could even go, whatever happens, you can make it into something that's not, or again, you can make it into music. But that's two sounds, okay? It's a bass and a high sound, okay? Anyway, some other sounds, Zany, Hobbs.
Yeah, I can talk through a couple of my... Oh, I just got attacked by a fly. A couple of my bass lines. I'll show you one of mine, which is a similar variation on MC Zany's one, which is it's a style of throat bass, but instead of using the growl that he does, the... It's too early for that. I use my uvula, which is the thing that dangles in the back of your mouth, which you basically gargle with. And when you gargle, if you're brushing your teeth, you go, ah. It's that sound, but I've worked out how to refine it and find a very sweet spot and create a vibration. So it's kind of tight, but kind of loose. It's very hard to explain. I've tried to explain to many people. But when you add a note to it, it creates a bass sound. So, for example, I can show you the transition from the gargle sound to it. So, you can kind of hear the break point. But the fun thing with it is that, obviously, depending on your voice, but the lowest you can get, you create a really nice subby, growly bass. Or you can go really high and create some nice high bassy melodies. And you can really play with that, and you can play from going high to low, which is quite a fun thing to do with it.
Can I just quickly say something about that bass line that you're doing?
Yeah.
If you can hear really carefully at home, he's got the low growl bass, but he's also harmonizing with the higher pitch sound that you're hearing. So you're hearing two notes at the same time, which is very, very, very cool. So listen out for those different nuances that you're hearing. It's very, very intricate.
You can actually, that's a good point, thanks. And you can play with the higher note and change that, but keeping the root of the bass. So you can go, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And you can also do that sound inwards, which is a lot more painful, and I don't advise it until you practice it very, very much so. But you get a really nice inward sound, which is a very different, sonically a different sound. So you create a
good morning, everyone.
Scary. It's too early for the scary voice.
Too early for the scary voice.
That's a great point, Hobbs, on the in and out.
Yeah.
Breathing, and just to show you, anything you can do out, you can do in. Okay, it will have a slightly different timbre, of course, but if I did my bass line out going, that's out. Inwards, it's okay. So, which a lot of people always ask, when do you breathe when you're beatboxing? The answer is every 7.5 minutes and everything. We're allowed to come up for water. That's the legal procedure. No, it's all about little techniques to be able to breathe. So we do take moments when we go, and we do take moments when we're breathing through our nose, and there are some sounds that are more inhale than constant exhale. And kind of going to, well, if I was going to go on from, you were just doing two sounds at the same time. So it is, if you're at home, if you can do this, if you can rub your stomach and pat your head, can you do that?
Oh, I just hit my head with the microphone.
Is everyone doing that?
And tap your head.
Yeah. Try that the other way round. Let's rub your head and pat your stomach. You've all just ruined your snazzy haircuts. But it's about doing two things at the same time, like Hobbit was doing then with the, going with a low and a high. And this is something called throat singing, okay? And it's something that comes right from your diaphragm down there, and it comes all the way up through your neck, and you channel it up, and channel it with your tongue. And hopefully you'll hear two sounds at the same time, okay? It is only 11:30, but I hope I'm vocally warmed up. Here we go. Did you hear two sounds?
That was amazing.
Oh, excellent. I managed to get two sounds. But it is about doing two things at the same time. It's like, so just to show you one final instrument before I pass it on to Zane again, we grew up without the internet, okay? So, but our best examples of finding out new sounds was meeting other beatboxers or meeting people who have extraordinary sounds that you've never heard in your life. But even before that, I used to watch Police Academy, and there was a guy on there called Michael Winslow. And he used to do everything. All these sounds are 100% real. But he did this one where he does the electric guitar. And he takes this high sound, this, and mixes it with a, The two sounds. Now, with a bit of H2O, you can get an extra delightful crackle. My laptop screen doesn't enjoy it, but you're in safe distance here. Here we go. And it's just trying to get those two sounds to go through. But Zany, would you like to show them some specialist sounds?
So, going on from those sounds, as you can hear, with your instrument, we are using the same mechanisms, but because we are all individuals, our mechanisms and our instruments might be slightly different. For example, I might have bigger lips, bigger teeth, you might have a longer tongue. So even though they're the same principles, you have to experiment within your own instrument and find out what best suits you. So going on for these sounds, people are saying, what other sounds can you do? What other effects can you do? And it's always down to your imagination and your creativity. But a really cool sound I learned quite a long time ago, which took me quite a long time to learn, but when I teach it now, a lot of people really pick up straight away. It's called the click roll, and it's very famous and pioneered by Dougie Fresh, who is a legend beatboxer in the game and is an inspiration to all us beatboxers. And his click roll sounds like this. And if you put it in a beat, it sounds like this. So that sound is, if I were to explain it, can you at home do this? Doesn't matter if you can't do it, but if you can, it just allows me to explain it a bit easier. So before doing that sound, can everybody click like this? Do you know, like you're calling a cat or a dog, go, here boy. So that sound, find out which side you're doing it on. So for me, I'm doing it on the left side. So once I do that, then do that. Fold the side that you're clicking on with your teeth, like so, and then do that clicking sound. And what you'll find is the air that is trapped underneath your tongue will want to escape. So you're finding the positioning to get this click roll sound. Oh, here there was 2 clicks there. And you want that nice clean. So you're not breathing in or out, you're just using the air that is already trapped in your mouth. And it's also very good for clicking your bones, like so. Ooh. Ooh. So it's a very good sound, a click roll. Another sound which I do is the Siren, which I love doing. So it's a bit of a combination of a humming technique using a falsetto voice with resonance. So it sounds like this. So, at home, everybody hum like this. And again. So, when you're humming, if you put your finger underneath your nose, you can feel that warm air. So that means when we're humming, your nose has to be open. So now try and hum with your nose closed. It doesn't work at all. So, what you want to do is put your front 2 teeth on the inside of your bottom lip, like this, and then hum again. And what you want to do is slowly release your front 2 teeth from the inside of your bottom lip, but you want it to still touch, because what you're doing is creating resonance with your teeth on your inside lip. So listen to the change from the hum to the sound. Did you hear it change? Do it again. So that's just me doing it on one pitch. But if I were to go, it'll sound. If I want to go, ooh. If I say nanga 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 nanga, it'll sound like. If I can do it out inwards as well and go. And you can vary it so many different ways. You can do like a car alarm. You can do it's this very digital sound. You can do like a. And there's like the koto sound, like a very oriental sound, like. and it's just using it. I use this sound for very, very instrument orientated sounds, and it's very good to add as texture, as a melody whilst I'm performing with the Beatbox Collective. They can be doing beats and bass lines, and I can just be in the back just going or something like that. So that is the Siren sound mixed with instrument sound, texture sounds, and loads of other different sounds.
Absolutely amazing. Make some noise for Zany on the forum. Well explained. Those are two massive beatbox sounds and techniques. And lots of people always go, the click roll, how do you do that? So if you get a click roll, the rhythms really open up.
Oh, just before we carry on, a lot of people saying it's very hard. Yes, it's very hard. So we're not expecting everyone to get it straight away. It all comes down to practice. And it's like if someone was giving another workshop for singing or guitar or whatever, I'm not going to expect that I can do everything in that workshop straight away. But what we're doing is giving you tools and giving you the mechanisms to be able to do these sounds and these techniques. So we give you the tools and you go away and practice, and that is how you will develop and evolve as beatboxers, as artists, as impressionists, and it's all about how much time and energy you put into it.
Yeah.
Talking of instruments.
Before we move on, just quickly, on that sound that Zany was talking about, I just wanted to touch on one of my sounds which uses the same technique as the Siren. It's one of my favorite sounds. It's the air horn, or vuvuzela, however you want to call it, and it's using the same technique as Zany.
My neighbours are going to kill me.
Yeah, mine. Luckily, mine don't care. I think I'm going to sell my cat, but he'll be all right. So it's using the same technique as Zany, with putting your top teeth on your bottom lip to create the Siren. But then I make a really loud vocal sound, and it creates an air horn. Make sure that you're not too close to the speakers, because it can be quite loud. Yeah, I just set up at least 3 car alarms. There we go. And this is using the same technique as, like I said, the same technique as Zany, but with my voice, I'm creating a very loud vocal sound, which is also a kind of crack in my voice. So the vocal sound that I make is a bit like Tarzan if he hasn't slept much. That's the vocal sound I'm doing. And then with my my teeth on my bottom lip, I create that with that sound, and it creates. So I'm channeling that sound through my lips to create the air horn. So, and with a lot of practice, you can get that and annoy the whole family for this whole beautiful quarantine.
Amazing. I was going to say, so fun of just going through the tool bag and stuff. That's part of the rave machine. Hobbit is a one-man rave. So like book him now, kids parties, everything. But we still have a phenomenal range of instruments. And Hobbit, in fact, hopefully he's brought it with you. Did you bring Deborah with you today?
Where is she? Yeah.
Yep. Well, this is one part of the artillery, and that's one of my favourites of ranges of the sounds. But we're going to move on to the brass section.
Yep. I'll just get it out.
There she is.
Okay. Just dust it off because it's been in the box for a few days. So yeah, this is the trumpet, the human trumpet, if you will. So I'll show you an example and then I'll break it down. So there's 2 versions of the trumpet. The one is the normal standard trumpet. So that's the normal trumpet, and there's a lot of different techniques in the beatbox world of how to do this. For my technique, let me just check I've got the camera angle right. I use the left side of my mouth. That's the most comfortable. Like Rupert was saying earlier, it depends which side of your mouth that you're most comfortable with. Mine seems to be the left, even though I'm a righty, which is weird. So with my lip, I just create a small pocket of air and push out. The notes is your own singing range, so obviously practice your singing and your scales, and it's also a very good way to warm up. You can warm up while doing a beatbox sound, and then you get used to the feeling of where there's basically a sweet spot, like many beatbox sounds. Like Zany was saying, with practice you have to put the time in, much like learning the instrument. But with a lot of beatbox sounds, you could practice them for months and months, and then suddenly you find the sweet spot and you're like, that's where it was. So with the trumpet, it's a similar thing. It comes from, like I said, the left side of my mouth, and and I'm using my tongue on the inside to push the air out and stop the air. So it's like a stop on the side of my mouth. So when I'm letting all the air out, my tongue is back. But when I want to stop it, it goes forwards. And that way I can move my tongue really fast and create the little bit that I just did before, the little melody, which is Bumblebee, which goes. It's just a lot of tongue and lip control with creating the trumpet sound.
Did you recognise that song he was doing?
It was the legendary.
You're going to attract them all out there. Go on,
yeah, I know.
Let's see if you can encourage all the wasp life out towards you.
Oh no. And then another variation of this trumpet is you put a mute on the end of the trumpet, which is the little cone that goes on the end, and it changes it from a very nice open sound of to a muted trumpet. And shout out to our brother Tobias Hug, aka BFG. He was the master of this sound, so yeah, big love to him, wherever you may be now. And yeah, so it's kind of sounds like this. It's a bit of a weird technique to explain because there's a lot of different elements going in, but I'll show you an example. A morning trumpet.
Morning has broken.
And for this, shout out to Alan Trinidad. He can do the trumpet. Good work, mate. For this technique, for the muted trumpet, it's a bit strange. I'm closing my throat, really tightening my throat and my vocal cords. So it's changing from talking normally like this, hello, hello, to really straightened. Really strange sound. It sounds very, very weird. But when you push a note out, it changes it from and I'm creating a weird shape with my mouth. And you just, again, play with the shape of your mouth, like Zany said before, and you can find different ways if it's very open, if it's very closed, and then you play with that. Yeah, there you go. That's the trumpet.
Round of applause for our brass section, and thank you for bringing dusting off Deborah today.
Yeah.
Wonderful, and huge love to Tobias as well. That's wonderful. So, so we've shown you instruments, and when we're showing you instruments, okay, you've got trumpet, you've got bass. You can make up your sounds. Again, there's so much digital, new analog music that's out there. So create your own sounds, listen to new sounds, and repeat. But that's the music side of what we do. And we like to play games. We've all done this because we've all grown up with an imagination and we've all made silly sounds. But nothing comes from nothing. Hobbs, I'm just going to quickly...
I think it's done. It's finished, mate. Oh.
One drop left.
Just one. All right.
Oh, coconut fell down. Sent the mosquito.
No, it's the bumblebees. I called them in. Oh. Really? Oh. Oh.
There you go, Jack.
Right. Why is it so cold? Oh. Tastes like chicken. All right. Oh.
Oh. Oh, Zane's got the new Justin Bieber song. Sick.
Yeah, sick actually.
Sick. Oh. Wanna play?
Let's go. I always win ping pong.
Gig to play some games. Anyway, hopefully you just saw a few sounds and you can do absolutely anything, however you wish to use the sound. You own your sound.
Shouts out to my mum that's watching as well, and my cousin.
Yeah, shout out mummies.
Love to every
Hi,
mum out there. Shout to all the mums. Shout to all the dads. Shout to everyone tuned in. We've got a huge range of people in today. So thank you all for tuning in. If you want to find out more, if you want to see more videos, if you want to find out about online workshops, we're doing online workshops at the moment as well. Of course, once schools reopen, we're very happy to come back into the schools and do more workshops. All the information is on www.thebeatboxcollective.com.
And if you do have any questions, please do write in the chat. We will try to answer as much as we can with the time that we have.
Yeah.
And please do spread the word. I think we're going to try and do this a bit more often. If not from the Young Voices account, we will try to do it from our account, and we want to keep providing you with as much happiness and positivity in these hard times. I know it's and give you something to take your mind off what's going on right now. So shouts out to all the Young Voices crew and to everyone that's staying positive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, this has come to the point where you've listened to us do all our sounds. It's now time for you, and you, I see you behind the sofa, to get involved. Right, let's start off with our drum kit with 3 basic sounds. Remember, you own your sound, so you can make it sound however you like. You can very simply use a B, a T, and a K, or a B, a T, and a K. Or, let's start with a kick drum and repeat after me. Hold your hand in the air. No left-handers, please. Ready? It's illegal. Well, it's illegal to have left-handers in beatboxing. On the count of 3, we are going to go. Okay, that's a. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now repeat after me when I raise my fist. I need to count the 1 beat actually because it's a half second delay. Cool. And again. Excelente. And that was German techno. Moving over to Zany for a hi-hat.
So this is the easiest sound in the beatboxing vocabulary. It is literally the letter T without the vocalized sound. So everybody at home, a nice, short, sharp. Now go. And that is the hi-hat. Over to Hobbit.
All right, the final sound. We have the kick drum and the hi-hat. And now we have the snare. And as we showed you at the beginning of the stream, for anyone that's been in there for the whole time, I hope you have, and thank you if you have. We have many different snare sounds, but the easiest one that I'm going to teach you is related to the letter K, and it goes K. It's just a K and a So on 3, everyone give me a K. 1, 2, 3. K. Nice. And repeat after me again. K. Nice.
Congratulations, you've just reached level 1 of beatboxing. And now we're going to take you all the way from level 1, hopefully all the way through to level 33.333 recurring time span when we first sort of. The answer is Constantinople. Right, here we go. We'll start really easy.
Whoa.
Nice and slow for all of those, okay?
But what we'll do, we'll slowly pick up the pace, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Start here. I'll say the phrase, then I'll raise my hand and you repeat.
Wook. Wook.
Oh, Hobbs is gone. Hold
Hobbs
on,
is
let's
frozen.
keep going, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Uh. Uh. One, two, three, four.
Whoop, whoop.
Amazing. Give yourselves a round of applause at home. Give all your sons and daughters a high five. Give your mums and dads a high five. Give your dog a good pet. Well done to everyone at home that has been trying all this beatboxing. We seem to have lost Hobbit. He's
Yeah, he said
frozen.
his internet or his laptop died slowly, but
Yes.
that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got
big-
the best. You've got the
Big shout out to Hannah
Live.
Ford. Big
Oh,
shout
yeah,
out to Hannah
shout
Ford
out.
locked in.
And Jamie Howie as well. Shout out to all the festival lovelies. We will see you this summer. The sun shines out, no doubt. But ladies and gentlemen, we were meant to finish at 12, but we can still go on for a tiny little longer.
If there's any
in the
questions.
absence of any questions, we're open to questions right now. If not, we've got some other activities that we can basically give to you to have a little beatbox battle with the family or recreate music with everyone at home, because it's all about sharing, trying something new. Hey, you should learn to cook and sow a seed at this stage. But ladies and gentlemen, any questions in the forums? Let's see.
We just have to wait for the little delay for our message to get back. So there might be a little delay on what we're getting. Shouts out to Angie Elizabeth, Mark Anthony Stangroom,
Yeah, from
Irene
the
Redmond
beginning.
Stewart, Hazel Ingle. Everyone locked in right now. MJ Morgan. Shout out to MJ Morgan who saw us at Glastonbury. Amazing.
Woo, 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 woo. And again, everyone from the Young Voices, honestly, we had the most incredible time when we come perform for Young Voices. But of course, when we go into the schools and do these workshops, the success is incredible. If you ever want to see the students battle the teachers, give us a call, and you'll tend to find out that the students are always better. And there's always a few dark horses in the teachers' lounge.
Oh, we've completely lost Hobbit. Oh, hey, shouts out to Amy tuned in,
Yeah, there we
watching.
go.
Big up. We've
Yeah.
lost Hobbit, but it's me and Basics, and we've got last few minutes. So if you do want to
The
send in your
Lost Hobbit
questions,
it's its own. It writes itself. It's its own new book.
it's
Oh, MJ from the Gateway. Hi. Yeah.
it's MJ from the Gateway. Yeah.
Hello. Oh my God, that's the favourite face you want to see. Oh my days. Well, I hope you're well, and I hope all families well. How long have we been beatboxing for? Zany,
Ooh.
over to you.
I have been beatboxing for 20 years. But you know, when we started beatboxing, our generation of beatboxing, YouTube didn't exist. Could you believe that? For all you kids watching, there was no YouTube, and there was only a few audio clips, and there was a handful of beatboxers that were beatboxing to the highest level. So it took a longer time to get to a higher standard of beatboxing. But nowadays, you know, with YouTube, beatboxers are getting incredible within a year or two. So yeah, so for you at home who are watching, who are saying it's very hard, keep practicing, you know. Nothing comes easy. You've got to really try and dedicate. It's the same with anything. So take what we're using through this beatboxing and apply it to something else that you're learning, anything else that you're learning at home or learning with others. So it's all about, you know, encompassing all of that. Any other questions? That was from Mark Anthony Stangram from Maisie and Freya.
But everyone always asks, how long have you been beatboxing? And because beatboxing, it's speech, it's language, it's communication, okay? You know, whether you are crying, whether you are emitting a sound, whether you are reacting, imitating cartoons, doing impressions, you know, you have the same tone from your mum and dad or whoever you grow up around. Because when you're inside your mummy's tummy, you hear the 808, the 707, the 606, the 505, the 404, the 303, the 202, and the 101. And Hobbit's back on the one. Bing! Welcome back. Basically, you hear these sounds in your mummy's tummy, which are all dance frequencies. And what's the first beat you ever heard in your lifetime?
Heartbeat.
Correct. Hobbs, you joined us at the right time because that's right, the prizes are all going to be yours. You go home with the cuddly speedboat.
Yes.
Excellent. And just for Jamie Howie,
That song feels remarkable, but ain't reversing like a...
Come on.
it's all in one fun when it's Jamie Howie, who's been doing some amazing live streams and always keeping it fresh. So sending love to all our festival crews everywhere. Any other questions? What have you been guys working on lockdown? Hobbs, you've got some amazing projects.
Yeah, been staying active. I have a weekly online show, family-friendly online show called Lock Down Your Area. We have guests from all over the world, from all different backgrounds, from all different styles, musicians to artists to people teaching workshops. We had an amazing workshop for under 5-year-olds the other day. We have beatboxers teaching and performing. We have everyone and everyone. It's great. Every Wednesday and Saturday at 3 p.m. I've also just released a single. Go check that out on all the onlines. Called One Way. Go and enjoy that. And lots of videos happening. And Zany as well has been on the videos, staying creative.
Yeah, man. I've been recording lots of songs at home, been producing a lot of music, working on a few split screen videos with Jay Sean. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be awesome when that comes out. Yeah. Also, still delivering online sessions for kids, for patients as well. I work with the Raw Brompton Arts team, and we are collating music courses for some of the patients that we work with. So stay tuned for that, for any of you that know who are or contacted with the Raw Brompton Hospital. And Mr. Basics, over to you.
Well, rather than me sort of like go on, I mean, I've been doing similar sort of with workshops. I've been writing all this time, actually. I've been doing a lot of self-development and exercise and all sorts, but the writing and some of the ideas coming through, it's amazing when you're given that time and space. And yeah, so I've been writing like crazy, actually, lots of little scripts. We've just had another question. Why did we start beatboxing? Why? Not when, why?
Interesting.
I'll quickly just go because
yeah.
I'm a middle child. I love craving attention, always doing silly sounds, getting a laugh, whatever it is. Practical joker, and look at me now. Anyway, over to you guys. Why did you do it?
Who's laughing now?
No one around me. No one around. Come on! There's no one there. No one even turned up for this one. Right.
At least okay. 2 minutes ago. Why did I start? It's a really interesting question, because normally we get how did we start? That's like the common beatbox question. So why is an interesting one? I think I used to play drums at school. I was in a Green Day cover band, for anyone who remembers them. I do have a video which is never going to see the light of day. And somebody showed me a clip of a guy beatboxing, and then I realized, wait, I can do some of these sounds, and it's easier to carry around than a drum kit, and I can have way more like creativity from my own body and my own face and my own sounds that I can have more fun with. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I did. What about you, Zany?
Kind of similar story, you know. I was always around music at the household. There was always music playing, and I did play the drums as well. And when I did hear Razel, I was just so fascinated by how you could make these sounds with your voice. I kind of took up the hobby, and because I was an MC on radio stations as well, those kinds of worlds collided together, the music, the beats, and I kind of picked it up in a way that was useful to what I was already doing. So that kind of gave me the inspiration, the motivation to carry on doing it until someone said, "Hey, do you want to come and beatbox at my party, mate?" And then I was like, "Oh, great." And that everything just evolved from there. And now it's been all of our full-time jobs for 10 years plus now. And I feel very grateful that we can call this work and call this a job. And even though we are not performing and gigging, we are still able to deliver and spread our message of beatbox, which is amazing.
Yeah, nice. So another question we had from Theo is, what is your favorite music genre?
And fun enough, and that goes in with who are your inspirations. I heard Zany saying about Razel. I was going to say, Hobbs, one question for you. Do you have the time to listen to me? We have to rock that one out, because you've heard me sing my American thing, which will never see the light of day either.
Well,
So you know I'll throw the voice in it as well. Stuff. Anyway, I'm glad to see these questions. They're unlocking some new things here and stuff. But inspirations, like, I mean, your musical inspirations growing up, or not necessarily musical. I'm fun of, because my grandfather was a famous cricket and sports broadcaster called Brian Johnston. Anyone who does know their cricket or has heard the phrase, the batsman's holding the bowler's beep. I can beep that at the moment for that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's that bit where I've had different influences to our life, and musically, again, getting into hip hop, that was a great sort of way to actually involve yourself with a movement and a scene, and there was so much to express there. But there's so many different types of music that have influenced me. That's why I always try and do a bit of rock and roll, a bit of Louis Armstrong, a bit of this, a bit of that, because different moods and different crowds when you're performing. You know, you can't expect everyone to like your favorite dubstep or your really technical beatboxing. Mm-hmm. So it's good to be able to have a wide variety of music that you appreciate, but also that you can perform as well. Yeah.
Another question from Alan, my cousin. It's coming from Freya. What are each of your favorite beatbox sounds? Oh, so I'll go first on that one. My first favorite beatbox sound is the Siren, which I taught you already, which is the but you can make it sound a bit different and go. That's one of my favorite sounds. And you?
Yeah. Hobbs?
I've got one of my all-time favorite beatbox.
You can't have them all.
You can't have them all. Is the air horn, which you all heard earlier. That's one of the classics. But one of my favorite sounds at the moment is a weird one, which sounds like this.
Oh, it sounds like Predator.
Yeah. So I've been playing with that recently. There you go.
There's Rupert's Yellow Submarine.
But yeah. It's sinking. It's got a hole in it. Bail. So it's just talking on sounds like so. I love just to do a whistle, which is just a and I can use this one whistle to control people on the underground, on the trains, to shut down customs at airports. I've shut down a Burger King. I can get someone arrested by security from walking in and out, but people think they're stealing from a shop. I'm a nightmare
to anyone, by the way.
But yeah,
don't try any of that.
Always go, come on out to Sainsbury's. But the whole idea is when someone's walking out the shop, even if they've bought a packet of chewing gum, it costs 70p, they've given them £1, and they go, I'll tell you what, keep the change, but I'll take the receipt anyway, knowing fully well they've paid for it and everything. When they walk out the shop, just go, watch the security guard go, right, sorry. Now, but you watch the person, as soon as that alarm goes off, they go, and they stop and they question themselves. Okay, so it's all the same. We're all controlled by tones and alarms and everything, but don't do this out in the street because people will look at their phone and when we look at the zebra crossing. Anyway, one of my favorite sounds. Over to you guys. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, they said, how do we meet? How do we meet?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tinder. 3 years ago. We all met through the beatbox battle scene, right? We all met through, well,
Yeah,
me and
so-
Zany.
I met Basics. I was doing a show with the group Fully Blunt. Shouts out to Fully Blunt. And I was playing bass at the time. I still beatbox, but I didn't really know any other beatboxers. And then this wacky host came on the stage, talked a million miles per hour, and then he done a little beatbox. And I was like, oh my God, there's another guy that does what I do. That's crazy. So I went up to him. I was like, yo, I'm Zany, this is... And we stayed in contact through then. And I used to see him always at other events, other festivals. And I was like, how come he's popping up everywhere? We should connect. And then obviously through the beatboxing, battling scene, that's where we really connected. The same with Hobbit as well. We really all met on the battling scene, and that's how we all became friends. And it's been an amazing journey for us to go from just doing a few beatboxing shows to forming a group to performing globally all around the world, and now working on an agency together and really like navigating through this world of beatbox, but using it in so many ways, not just performing shows, but doing adverts, TV, radio, and really using it to its fullest potential and learning lots at the same time and having lots of fun.
Yeah, always about having fun.
Time of life.
Right, should we go for one more question and then
MJ's got a lovely question here.
yeah.
Do you find that through each person's tonality naturally creates a band sound? Do you each find you lean towards different instrumental sounds? Which is a very, very, very good question.
Ooh.
MJ, you're going to get all the points. Your prize will be in the post. We're just going to have to work out what the prize is and stuff. But that's the question of the day.
Oh, can I take?
How would you like to? You go for it. Go for it.
That's a very good question, and I think it depends on what lineup it is. Say, for example, if it was us three beatboxing, I know that I can hold a solid beat, whilst Hobbit or Basics can lay a really clean bass line that will sit comfortably with my beats. I know my sounds and their sounds go very well. But for example, if it was a different lineup, I would say if Ballsy was in the lineup, I would probably not do the beat as much and focus on textural sounds and backing and the little spaces.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate more on that, Hobbit?
Yeah, I think it's a very good point, and it's with the collective, we are very good at knowing each other's strengths and really using them well, and knowing that in certain tracks some people can shine more in certain ways and really benefit the track to be a bigger sound. And in terms of like thinking it from a band point of view, it's quite interesting because I
Oh, did he just lock out there?
think as Beatbox the band, because
There he is, he's back. Oh, we've lost him again.
As I think, well, if I'll just continue, if it
time for everyone to
here he is. Yeah. Hubs, you just went in and out then.
He's out again.
Is that? I think it's saying again, knowing each other's vocabulary. That's a really important part of any band. But when you know everyone's different instruments, you know everyone's strengths, and everyone wants to use their strength. Sorry, Hobbs, to just interrupt. It was just in case no one caught the last bit of that. So we missed the most important part of the day. But it's all out in your book that you've been writing since lockdown, isn't it? Coming out soon. Hobbit, the return of, and he's frozen on that face. Have you got the frozen face? Oh, there he is.
I'm back. Yeah, sorry, I was just signing some books.
I love it. Well, I think we're going to slowly wrap it up. I mean, like, we sort of faded on that question. I don't know if there's any more we want to conclude on that, other than the last of like 30 seconds we didn't quite catch from you, Hobbs. Any more? Because we will be doing, please get in touch with us on the Beatbox Collective on the socials. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and of course there's all the videos and everything there on our YouTube page. But of course, when the schools do open up, we'll be very, very happy to come back in again. We always do sessions where we can take on the entire school in one day. Okay, so it doesn't matter any number. You've seen us before at Young Voices where we do 20,000 people and split the crowd 10,000 people versus 10,000 people. Okay, but any further ideas, we're always open to listening. And, well, I hope everyone has a lovely time and hopefully be back on Young Voices soon. Shout out to Electric Umbrella as well, Mr. Tom Billington doing amazing work there. Shout out to everyone who's sharing and putting out loads of productive, creative craziness.
Yeah, I just want to say a big shout out to everybody as well, and thanks, big shout out to the NHS for like absolutely being amazing throughout this situation and time that we're living in. And shouts out to Jamie, he's just said he's screen grabbed that. Shouts out to everyone watching right now and all my family who have tuned in, all friends, and hopefully we'll be back again soon to deliver another amazing time for you. And yeah, please spread the word. And we are the Beatbox Collective, and we love you.
Yeah. Big love, peace, take care.
Have a lovely week, everyone.
www.beatboxcollective.com.